morning.
Good morning.
Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Daily Dose. I wanted to show you because, Dr. Mary made the simple syrup yesterday, and I wanted to show you the difference between the one that I didn't follow the recipe on. Remember we talked about how liquidy it was? And the one where Dr. Mary followed the recipe. And you can see, there we go. You can see the legs on that. The really nice, much thicker viscosity. It's more like maple syrup, almost. So I wanted to just make one because apparently I am going to drink these in the morning. Okay, so there's my simple syrup. Then I'm gonna add my lemon juice. And you can see the two layers? It's a little bit hard to see, but you can. I didn't put ice in this because I didn't wanna wreck it. But I wanna show you how beautiful this presentation can be when it's done correctly. Let's see if we can make this work. So see, you can still see a little bit of layer at the bottom. And if we let it sit for a second, it would do exactly like, what drink did we have at the luau? What are those Hawaiian drinks with rum? Does anybody have it? It'll come to me, but the rum was at the top and the simple syrup was at the bottom, and so I took my first drink and just about tipped over.
I remember them.
You want to stir them so that the simple syrup moves throughout the whole thing. So let's see if this makes any difference. Plus, there's the lavender in it. Oh, it's definitely better. And if you are...
Oh, that is better.
If you are wondering if it's just us who likes this drink, we already have one confirmation that it is not just us who thinks this drink is great. So follow the recipe. That's the whole point of that little start. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch yesterday's Daily Dose and you can get the recipe. Okay, so what are we talking about today, Dr. Mary?
Do's and don'ts of questions you shouldn't ask soberly.
This is from a Medium article by a woman named Talia Asenate, maybe, that I came across and Dr. Mary liked too. So why don't you go through it? Would you please? I'm just going to be here drinking my mocktail.
So basically, she this is a very well-written article, but she goes on to say this begs the question: what should you or shouldn't you ask someone that you discover is sober?
Can I just...
Yes, of course you can.
It may not be that you discover that they're sober, you discover they're not drinking.
Yes.
Which is a different thing,
Yeah.
because if you're the designated driver, you may not be a sober person, but you're not drinking.
So this may not have anything to do with a recovering alcoholic, but you don't know that.
You don't know that.
So maybe this is just a lesson in etiquette. Who knows?
Another drink?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
So don't just blurt out the words, "Do you have a problem?"
So let's just play this out a little bit. You're having a party,
Yes.
and people come over and you say, "What can I get you to drink?" And someone says, "Do you have anything non-alcoholic?" Do you have a problem?
Yeah.
It's like we're doing those learning module videos that you watch during sexual harassment
This does
training.
sound disturbingly like the fantastic acting of the sexual harassment workshops we have to go through every other year. Yes.
Important, but the videos are often goofy.
Janet was disgusted because Roger touched her thigh for no reason.
And then a reenactment.
Oh.
Yes. But Roger
Sorry.
should not touch Janet's
No.
thigh for any reason, just in case anyone thinks we're making fun of it. We're not.
No, and this is absolutely true. It's just badly acted.
Yes, that's what we're making fun of. Okay.
Where were we?
Do you have a problem? Don't
Yes,
ask
regardless of a person's relationship with alcohol, basically that question is none of your business.
that. Let's put it this way. If you look at a woman and you think, did you get fat during COVID or are you pregnant? Best not to ask anything.
A former student of mine who is, she's a librarian in the Fargo public school system. She's a fantastic human being. She always was a kick-ass. She put something on Facebook this morning that I thought was brilliant. It was, person to me, "Oh, I don't think face masks work." And it was her. "Well, mine's work fine. No one's told me to smile in over a year."
That's a little unrelated, but it's a very cool thing.
It's a very cool thing, so bless you. Keep them coming. That's what I like to say to that. So yes, depending on
Back on
your
topic.
history and the experience, I mean, really, why someone chooses is not drinking, it could be anything, but it really isn't any of your business. They might just be the designated driver. They may have decided to lay off for a day because maybe they've just got a slight the last legs of a hangover. You don't know.
I met someone yesterday for wine and cheese.
If it's a woman, she might be pregnant, but she doesn't want anyone to know.
Yes. I met someone yesterday for wine and cheese, and we both opted out of having wine. So I had water, she had Diet Coke, and we had a lovely cheese plate, and it was great. Because I am really trying to figure out how to go into wine meetings with funders and not drink wine, because I'm trying to be done with alcohol altogether. Yesterday worked great. She just said, I have a lot of work to do tonight. I said, great, let's not drink wine. It was easy.
The next one, actually, on this, it says, do say good for you instead. And then they go on to say, this is the best response you can give and shows respect for both the person and their decision. Also, that their value isn't determined by their choice of beverage.
Tell that story. You have told it before, but tell the story of the bar we went into in either Ireland or England. I can't remember.
It was in, it was actually in England. It was in Oxford. This is the only time this has happened to me. So Dana and I were we decided to go and have a pub lunch, and I was, if it's a 0.0 alcohol, I like them. So I asked the barman if they had any 0.0 alcohol, and this particular individual said, "What do you want to drink that crap for?"
Yeah. Wrong answer, bar guy.
That was the only time that has happened.
Yeah.
In Ireland, it was, "Hey, which one do you want?" And they think it's cool, and a lot of people are embracing alcohol. Alcohol consumption in Ireland has
They're
actually gone
embracing
down.
alcohol free.
Alcohol free.
Yes. Because we already know a lot of people
Alcohol-free.
embrace alcohol. Oh, you lost your spot, Dr.
I
Mary.
know, and there was another funny one. When I was newly sober, we went to Hawaii. I was going to a
Well, we've
meeting.
definitely told this story.
But I asked if they had any non-alcoholic beer, and he went, "We got Coors Light. Do you want one of those?" I went, "No, thank you." But the guy, he wasn't being a tool. He didn't say, "What's wrong with you?" He just, poor lad, just didn't know.
All right.
The best, another great thing to say is do say.
Start with don't.
Oh,
'Cause
don't.
Yeah.
One drink won't hurt. It is absolutely, again, none of your business to say that. You don't know what anyone's relationship with alcohol is, and one drink can hurt.
Absolutely. One drink can open a door that has been sealed.
If you're talking to someone who's trying to get out and be sociable and they're like 3 months sober, saying that to them is just a horribly stupid thing to say.
You know what? I think it's important to say this isn't about how newly sober you are, because almost every week you come home and say to me, boy, somebody who's been 30 plus years sober picked up his 24-hour chip today.
You don't know what's happening. And again, I mean, not everyone, unfortunately, has that horror happen to them. But it's...
What do you mean, unfortunately?
I said fortunately.
Oh, I don't think so. I think you said
Can we
unfortunately.
carry on? Fortunately,
Yeah,
that doesn't
okay.
happen to everybody. But it can happen, and it is something to be aware of. So, saying one drink won't hurt when you know nothing about the story is something you shouldn't do at all. What you do say is something like, "Awesome, can I get you something else?" If there's nothing apparent there for a non-alcoholic beverage instead of just water or like a diet soda or something. There could be fun drinks that we do. Might be available.
Yep.
Don't say just drink in moderation, because you don't know what the trigger is for some person like that.
Well, and clearly, for an addict, moderation is not possible.
Yeah. Probably the best response is "Good for you. How's it going?" You could say that. That way,
Except that makes an assumption that someone is not drinking because they have decided that they have a problem with alcohol. So I don't dislike this, but I don't have a problem with alcohol, and yet I often choose not to drink. And if someone says to me, good for you, how's it going? You're making an assumption that I have a problem with alcohol. So I think the point is just to say, great, here are our other options, and leave it at that. Because again, I think the pregnancy one is a particularly big one. Don't force a woman to tell you she's pregnant to shut you up about alcohol. Why do you care what someone's drinking? What you should care about if you're hosting an event is creating an environment where everybody who's going to be there, regardless of how well you know them, is going to feel comfortable. Which means you need to be thinking about, what do I do if I've got vegetarians? What do I do if I have gluten-free people? What do I do if people don't drink? If all you do is show up with brats, regular brat buns, and beer, you're not thinking about the people coming to your party. So think about the people coming to your event and create an environment where everybody can have what they want or what they need without having to out themselves in any kind of way. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, that's very true. And of course, I mean, on a little tangential note, you know, especially for the pregnancy thing, people, you know, there could be a history of things that can go wrong in the first trimester in a family, so you don't really want anyone to know. If, you know, and then you're there at a party and you're not drinking and you're just made uncomfortable, and it kind of bleeds out into it. So one of the best things is to just not do that. I'm going to join the next two together because I think it's important to talk about these together. One is, don't say, oh, why? But why I'm jumping ahead a little is, do say something on the lines of, well done, do you mind if I ask why you're not drinking? Because you think you're not drinking. Mind you, I don't like the phrase "well done." I think that kind of sounds a bit
condescending.
It does sound a bit condescending. So I would just stop with, "Oh, okay. Any particular reason, or do you want to? May I ask, or would you like to? Well, actually, no, because it's tough. That one is actually quite tough.
It's interesting because these are her solution questions are definitely better questions than her bad questions. No question about it. But again, if somebody comes to you and says, boy, my husband and I are getting divorced, your job is not to say, why? Or have you tried to work it out? Or what's the matter with him? Or what's the matter with you? That's not your job. Your job is to say, what can I do? If somebody tells you that, then just simply say, what can I do? And then they will tell you as much as they want to tell you. The only reason that Maz now, when we go into bars or go into social situations, tells people that he's looking for something non-alcoholic because he's an alcoholic is because of Daily Dose. Before Daily Dose, you didn't walk in and announce, Maz Mary, alcoholic, what do you have for me? That was never announced, ever. And there are people, case in point, someone watching, who never drinks anything ever at all. I've seen her drink about half a tiny glass of port in my entire life. That being said, what if somebody were to say to her when she said, I'll just have water, oh, do you mind if I ask why? Yes, I do mind if you ask why. Bugger off.
That is an old. You're absolutely right. It still goes to. It actually contradicts the "it's none of your business."
Yes,
actually, if you think about it. Well, that's a nice.
Actually,
good point.
So I brought this article to the conversation. I hate this article. I think it's all wrong.
But this is good though. From a point of view of an alcoholic and the spouse of an alcoholic. I mean, these are better questions to ask. They're better, but it's still, you know, may I ask why? If you don't want to tell them,
then you have to say this. No, you may not, and then that's weird too.
It's like asking someone who's in a wheelchair why they can't walk. That's none of your business.
Yep. Provide the most inclusive environment you can. Just do everything you can to make sure that you've anticipated where anybody's going to be in the drink spectrum, and then just get them the drink they want. I told you yesterday, we told you yesterday, if given the choice between having this drink and having wine, pretend this is wine, what a weird thing to drink wine in, I'll take this every single time. Every time. Always. And I don't want to be asked, or I don't want to be cheerleaded for picking the non-alcoholic beverage. Oh, just hand me the damn drink and then move along. Find something else to talk about. If you value me as a guest, then move along.
Very good point.
Thank you. Now I'm spicy because you kind of got a little reprimandy in the middle, Dr. Mary. That was a little bit unnecessary.
Oh, that's all right, lovey. You do like to chime in and take control sometimes.
I was clarifying. We'll discuss this off camera.
No, we won't.
No, we won't. We absolutely won't. It's totally fine. So, long and the short of it, when in doubt,
it is really interesting. We have never.
nothing.
Sorry, we've never talked about an article that we actually worked out that it was not the best thing to talk. Actually, it is because it really is none. Keep it this way. It's none of your business if they want to tell you. Just don't make them feel uncomfortable. But don't turn it into a sort of stretched out English drama.
Yep.
You end up going, oh, I think I better leave. I think you better head.
Yeah. Don't be
They
stupid.
do that.
Just have some stuff in place. Okay, tomorrow's guest, assuming all goes well, Michael Strand, should be a really interesting conversation. We're looking forward to talking with him. Michael is another professor
It's going to be a little odd because I will be on Zoom myself.
in your moody office.
I'll be in my moody office because at 9 o'clock I'm giving my first final, so I have to be on the spot to race downstairs
On the
to
spot.
brighten everyone's day by giving them a non-majors biology final exam.
Hot deity. All right, have a great day. Follow the recipe. If you're going to make the drink, it does make a nice difference. It's good both ways, but it's better if it's followed. So have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.